You started this company when?
In late 2012.
And you worked on it for a couple of years, and then you were going to quit because it wasn't working. Is this true?
So actually, this last attempt was the fourth attempt at starting the company. So
Wow.
the first attempt was in 2004, I believe. I'm getting the
Yeah.
timing right. Then 2006, then 2007, and then again the last time in 2012.
All the same corporate entity, or they were just projects?
All different entities, different co-founders. First two were just by myself. Second one was different co-founders, one of whom is actually working at Webflow now.
Great.
This last time, hopefully last time,
Yeah.
last and final time, was started in late 2012, and that's around the time where so the same co-founders as now. One of them is my brother. One of them is a coworker at Intuit. That's when I almost went bankrupt, and the company went bankrupt.
Wow.
Because we first wanted to just bootstrap. We wanted to do a Kickstarter campaign, and I only had like 3 months of family runway to like invest in the company. It ended up, so I kind of promised my wife like, oh, we're gonna get funding within
No problem.
of course. I mean,
Yeah.
not a big deal. Leave this well-paying job and just do the startup thing. But then we ended up going more than 12 months without funding.
Oh, wow.
So that's where, and
On fumes.
and my daughter ended up having really like critical surgery,
Oh my
and it
gosh,
was
I'm
like
sorry.
catastrophic health insurance, and so we almost kind of fizzled out about 6 months after founding.
Wow.
This was like pre-Y Combinator, pre-funding and everything. We were like about ready to give up, go back to our jobs.
I'm falling in love with you right now, Vlad. I'm literally like, as an investor and a founder, it's just like, I always tell people the reason companies fail is not because they run out of money. It's because the founder quits.
Yep.
You
absolutely.
worked with no salary, and you convinced your team and your co-founders to work without a salary
Yep.
for 6 months, 12 months?
For 12 months. Actually,
such a
12 months
samurai.
total. The last 3 months we're working on minimum wage because YC told us, hey, you have to pay yourselves. If one of the founders quits and didn't get paid, then there's like a
liability.
Exactly.
Because you don't own the IP assignment.
Exactly.
The intellectual
so
property.
there has to be like consideration.
There
or
has to be
whatever.
something in order for you to own that IP.
Right. Yeah. And it wasn't until August 2013, in September 2013, when we did our seed round, that we were able to actually pay ourselves.
And you posted this story on Hacker News, I guess, back in 2013.
Yeah, so that's didn't post the full story, but we did around the beginning of 2013. That's when we were like, I was almost bankrupt. We're considering moving back and going back to our jobs. That's when we said, look, we have to like give ourselves a deadline, a month, and post something on Hacker News. We're not going to be able to build a full product. Just post an idea of it and then see if it sticks.
Yeah.
And it stuck. Like it was number one on Hacker News for the whole day.
For those who don't know, Hacker News is like Reddit, but for founders and developers.
Yeah,
Started by Y Combinator. You can go to news.ycombinator.com. And I love this tweet. My Webflow journey: 2004 idea, 2005 first try failed, 2006 married, 2007 second try failed, 2008 third try failed, 2009 kid number 1, 2010 day job, 2011 kid 2, 2012 fourth try YC says no, 2013 YC says yes, funded, get $100K in the bank. 2014 hard work begins. Wow, you are a real Jedi samurai.
It didn't feel like it at the time.
Of course it doesn't. Go watch the Seven Samurai when they're in the mud. Go watch, Luke Skywalker lose a hand. I mean, this is serious business entrepreneurship. And we live in a time of entitlement. Unlimited vacation, work from home, free food, all kinds of nonsense. You worked with no salary for a year, trudging through the mud. What kept you at it in those moments? What is it about you and your team that you just would not give up?
Two things. One of them, blind optimism. Like in the moment, it just felt like, oh, it's right around the corner. This is going to work out. Like it didn't, to my wife, it didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But
God bless the spouses. I mean,
the amount of commitment that's required is just nuts to think
Yeah.
about. Especially not seeing like everything, like all the potential promise, like the vision I had in my head for, for this product, for this movement, etc. So that's part of it. Sort of like blinds you to reality, and has you make like pretty dumb financial decisions. Like I pulled out almost all of my money from 401k, which is like a huge penalty when you do it.
Yeah, you got to pay tax on it.
Exactly. Which, I wouldn't advise friends to do, but, in the moment, it's like, all right, it's just like another place to get money, to pay the bills, etc.
And this is with a kid.
This is 2 kids at
with
the time.
2 kids at the time.
They were 1 and 3 when we first
that's
started.
quite a discussion with your spouse.
Yeah.
I'm going to take $50,000 out of our 401k.
Right, exactly.
And plow it into my 4th swing at bat.
And it wasn't just that. We had to sell 2 cars and switch them to, because we had, cars that we had paid for before. We sold both cars and switched to leases. So that way it's like you get some cash in the bank to pay for rent.
Wow.
And then you have like, a couple $100s a month or whatever. And I think we racked up close to $60K in credit card debt. Those like
personal.
Yeah, exactly. Those 2%, you'd sign yourself a check for. And of course, this, like, I'm speaking from a position of privilege. The fact that I had the credit is awesome. A lot of people don't have that, but it was still
you weren't going to have it for much longer. Let's be honest.
Razor's edge for sure.
Yeah.
The second part, I think, is what you mentioned around like the impact of like this vision of what no code can do. This started in 2004 when I wrote my senior project on this idea, because I was working at an agency and I saw what. I was an intern that was translating designs into production. So basically, this was in San Luis Obispo. I was going to Cal Poly, and there was an agency called Web Associates. Now, like they've been
in St. Louis Obispo. What's it like down there?
San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo.
It's amazing.
The Central Coast.
Yeah, it's like
I've never been there, but people rave about it.
I want to retire there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like the weather's great. The beach is right there. It's a
small
college
community,
town.
right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why hasn't that blown up? Like, because you would think that San Francisco and LA would become a mega city at one point, and everything in between would connect them, kind of like in Judge Dredd, but without the dystopian kind of parts to it. But you would think, like, Tokyo has expanded and just keeps growing. Why hasn't Silicon Valley grown down to St. Louis Obispo or, Santa Barbara and Los Angeles connected?
I think transportation infrastructure, one. So, Tokyo has amazing train coverage.
Bullet train,
here we don't have the same. And I think now with more remote companies, more remote tools, this is starting to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
Yeah.